With the MLB Draft wrapping up, we have one of the craziest drafts in recent history. With a draft holding 18 shortstops in the first round, 2 high school teammates going in the top 10, players dropping more than 10 spots, and others going up more than 10. This draft was filled with surprises. We are covering every pick from the draft that was all the way up through the competitive balance round A. That picks 1 through 43. Technically, these aren't all first-round picks, but they all happen on day 1, so we're going to treat them like first-rounders in value and attention. With the 43rd pick in the first round, the Marlins would get this pick thanks to the natural allocation of MLB's competitive balance round A, which is reserved for those smaller market and lower revenue teams. With the end of the first round, the Miami Marlins would select 6-foot outfielder Cam Cannarella, the star coming out of Clemson. Cannarella was one of the most electric players on the Tigers team. As a freshman in 2023, exploded onto the scene, winning ACC Freshman of the Year, earning first-team All-ACC honors, and being named a Freshman All-American. He quickly became the heart of the Clemson's offense and defense, stealing 24 bags, hitting .388 with a .462 on-base percentage. At that point, he looked like a future top 10 pick and maybe even a Golden Spikes contender. But early in his sophomore season, things took a tough turn. Cannarella tore his labrum in his throwing shoulder. Despite the injury, he chose to play through it, missing just 2 games all year, and he had surgery right after the season. He wasn't quite the same dynamic force we saw in 2023, but he still showed plenty of flashes, batting .353 with a .479 on base during his final season in Clemson, all while being one of the best outfielders in all of NCAA. I'm giving this pick an A-. If Cam can stay healthy and return to form, he's got the tools to become a major piece in the Marlins' future. The 42nd pick will go to the Tampa Bay Rays. They received this pick from the trade back with the Athletics in December 2024, where they traded Jeffrey Springs and Jacob Lopez. With it, Tampa Bay selected Brendan Summerhill, an outfielder from the University of Arizona. Coming into the draft, Summerhill was considered one of the more well-rounded players available. Scouting grades had him at a 55 hit, 50 power, 55 run, 55 arm, and 55 field. On paper, he's one of the most balanced prospects in the class. Over his 3 seasons with the Wildcats, Summerhill hit .323 with 14 home runs, 99 RBIs. In his junior year alone, he batted .343 with an OPS of 1.055, adding 4 homers, 6 triples, and 34 RBIs in just 44 games. Despite the upsides, there are concerns, and they are likely caused by the slide to the 42nd pick after being ranked inside the top 20. He suffered a fractured right hand this past season, and just in 2 games after returning, he sidelined again with a hamstring injury. The tools are there, and sure, he has the potential to become an everyday outfielder, but durability and consistency are the real question marks. And for someone who came into college with a reputation as a powerful big bat, he hasn't hit for as much pop as intended. I'm going to give this pick a C. There's talent, but there's also risk. And Tampa will need to bet on his health and development to pay off. With the 41st pick, the Dodgers received this pick from the Reds in the Gavin Lux trade earlier this offseason. With it, they selected Charles Davallon, a 5'9" outfielder from Waterloo, Canada, who became a key piece for the Arkansas Razorbacks as their leadoff hitter thanks to a smooth left-handed swing. After not getting much attention at Florida Gulf Coast, Davallon transferred to Arkansas, and that move paid off. He turned into one of the most productive hitters in the entire SEC. He's known for his excellent plate discipline and rarely swinging missing. For someone his size, he finds the gap really well. He's got solid speed, steals the occasional bag, and plays average defense with decent range, but his arm is well below average. What he brings to the table is a polished bat and a good eye, but he is undersized, and someone of those other tools don't jump off the page. Could he turn to a Mookie Betts type story? Maybe. He's got the hit tool for it, but right now, the other aspects of the game raise some questions. I'll give this pick a B-. There's potential here, but there's also some limitations. Los Angeles Dodgers also had the 40th pick, and with that, they selected another Arkansas Razorback, Zach Rue, the 6'2" funky lefty who followed the footsteps of last year's 5th overall pick, Hagen Smith. Rue was one of the most effective pitchers in all of Division I baseball this past season, striking out 126 batters in 99 and 1/3 innings, bringing him top 5 nationally. He features a 4-pitch mix that doesn't really rely on blowing hitters away with pure velocity. Instead, Root works around those hitters with a 60-grade curveball and changeup plus a 55-grade cutter. His fastball sits in the low 90s and uses about a third at a time, letting his secondary pitches take center stage. Root actually led Division I in strikeouts with 51 on his curveball alone. He has one of the funkiest deliveries you'll see, combining a 3/4 arm slot with his high leg kick. He profiles a solid starter with a high floor for a pitcher of his caliber. He throws consistent strikes, but tends to lead the ball over the plate a bit too much, which led to his 7 home runs and 40 earned runs last season. Overall, Root will be one of the better pitchers once he reaches the big leagues. I'm going to give this pick a B+. With the 39th pick, the New York Yankees would select another high school shortstop, Dax Kilby. The 6'2" shortstop was ranked 23rd nationally and was committed to Clemson. He led his high school to its first state championship in over 30 years. Kilby brings a smooth left-handed swing and puts up monster numbers in his senior year, batting .495 with 5 home runs, 42 RBIs, and 15 stolen bases, doing that all in one of the most competitive regions in Georgia. What stands out the most is his offensive upside. He was originally ranked the 62nd overall prospect, but shot more than 20 spots to go in this first round selection. There is some concern though. He had some shoulder issues that led to a funky throw in motion and slightly below average arm. That could lead to a position change switch down the line, likely to second base. Still, with his lean frame, there is some room to add some strength and further develop his bat. He'll need some time, but the long-term potential is definitely there. I'm giving this pick a B. There's upside, especially at the plate, but it comes with a bit of risk. Next up, the New York Mets with the 30th pick. And with that pick, they select Michigan's versatile star, Mitch Voit. Early in his college career, Voit started to draw comparisons to former Wolverine standout and current MLB All-Star Jake Cronenworth, thanks to his two-way ability as both a position player and a pitcher. As a freshman, Voit played both third base and came out of the bullpen hitting .267 over 53 games while also pitching in 19 appearances, striking out 25. In his sophomore season, he became more of a central part in Michigan's lineup. He doubled his home run production from the year before, hit .292 and slugged .572. On the mound, he started 10 games and struck out 41, though he struggled at times with command and keeping runners off base. Unfortunately, Voit suffered an elbow injury that spring and underwent surgery in July. Following the surgery, he transitioned to a full-time hitter and was moved to the second base to limit stress on his arm while keeping his bat in the lineup. And that shift definitely paid off in the big way. Freed from his pitching duties, Voit became one of the most complete hitters in the Big Ten. He improved his approach, made better swing decisions, and consistently barreled the ball and finished the season hitting .346 with a .668 slugging percentage. With his plus speed, made him a threat on the bases, stealing 14 bags in 16 attempts. It also came from a strong range at second, and thanks to his pitching background, he still boasts a strong arm that touches it in the low 90s. Voit has the tools to become one of the most reliable everyday second basemen in the league, and with some continued growth, the upside is real. I'm going to give this pick a solid B. With pick 37, the Orioles received a competitive balanced pick due to their market size and revenue status similar to other teams like the Marlins. With the pick, the Orioles selected Vanderbilt commit Slater DeBrun. Hailing from Summit, Oregon, DeBrun has drawn comparisons to undersized outfielders like last year's first-round Slade Caldwell and NL Rookie of the Year Corbin Carroll. DeBrun broke out on the scene with standout performances at the Perfect Game Nationals and World Series. He also played for USA's 18U team before suffering a broken thumb. Despite the setback, he continued to shine, leading Summit Storm to a Class 5A state championship this past high school season. Ranked as a number 14 player in the 2025 class, DeBrun brings a well-rounded tool set to the table. While none of his tools are considered elite, he's a solid all-around player with plus speed for his size and good instincts in the outfield. Still, there's a bit of projection needed. He's got a strong foundation. There's not one standout tool that jumps off the page. I'm going to give this pick a C+. It's a solid bet on upside, but not without some risk. Here's yet another pick in the competitive balance round. This time going to the Minnesota Twins, and it's Riley Quick. Quick was Alabama's top baseball prospect back in 2022. He also found success on the gridiron as a football player, but ultimately chose to pitch for the Crimson Tide. He began his college career as a reliever, appearing in 16 games his freshman year, tossing 22 innings with 26 strikeouts. But he also struggled with his control, walking 21 batters, which worked out to be a 8.6 walks per nine. In his sophomore season, disaster struck early. Just 3 innings into his first collegiate start, Quick tore his UCL and had to go under Tommy John surgery. A now all-too-common story for young pitchers. Impressively, he made a quick recovery and turned the following season as a starter, staying healthy through most of the year before a blister sidelined him in late March. Quick stands at a 6'6" and 250-pound frame, making him one of the most physical, imposing arms in this year's draft. That frame powers a fastball or sinker that touches the upper 90s along with a wipeout slider in the mid-80s. The stuff is real. But the big concern is still his command. While he brought his walk rate down to 3.5 per 9 innings in his return, control remains a question mark. With his size and inconsistent command, he carries a big ceiling, but also a very low floor. Best case scenario, a reliable mid-rotation starter. Worst case, he struggles to find the strike zone at the next level and maybe becomes a bullpen arm. I'm going to give this pick a C-. There is upside, but it comes with plenty of risk. For the 35th pick, the Seattle Mariners have another competitive balanced round pick. This time, it's standout catcher Luke Stevenson. Stevenson was a star catcher for North Carolina Tar Heels this past season and earned a spot in the All-ACC first team. He has been a staple of that lineup, blasting 19 home runs, more than any Tar Heel catcher since 2004. He also led the ACC in walks with 59, showing a strong approach at the plate. Defensively, Stevenson held his own as well, throwing out 35% of base steals with a 60-grade arm, impressive for a college backstop. On paper, Stevenson stands out. He's a physical left-handed bat known for hitting the ball hard and far. There's plenty of potential on him to be a 30 home run guy at the next level. He does have a below-average contact and tool speeds, so he's not the most complete hitter, but his power and defense make up for as one of the top catching prospects in this year's draft. I'm going to give this pick a solid B. He may not be the flashiest all-around player, but catchers with legit power and strong arm are always in demand. Yet another competitive balance pick. This time goes to the Tigers, who select Michael Olavito. The Yale commit wasn't viewed as a top-tier prospect coming into this draft, ranked the 219th overall, but he really caught some attention with his breakout performance in the WWBA World Baseball Championships down in Florida. The Smithtown native, ranked just outside the top 100 nationally, is known for his raw power. He's got a strong power tool, but the hit tool is still a work in progress. While he's still impressed some scouts at the WWBA, not everyone's fully convinced just yet. Defensively, Olavito has a fairly average fielding ability and receiving skills behind the plate. He moves well for his size, but there's definitely some room for improvement, especially when it comes to refining his arm and overall consistency. This pick feels like a project. There's potential, especially with the bat, but there's also a long way to go. I'm going to give this pick a C-. The final competitive balance pick in the first round goes to the Red Sox, and with the 33rd pick, they pick Tennessee power pitcher Marcus Phillips. Phillips has been on the scouts' radar from a young age, known for his big frame and his electric velocity, but also known for his struggles with command. Injuries and inconsistency limited his opportunities both in high school and during his freshman season at Iowa Western Community College. He eventually transferred to Tennessee and played a key role in their 2024 championship run by a following spring when he was named the Volunteers' number 2 starter. Standing at 6'4", Phillips is a physical presence on the mound. He brings a 65-grade fastball that can touch up to 100 miles per hour and pairs with a nasty 9-per-hour slider. He's also had the low 90s changeup that isn't often used, but with its movement, it can become an effective complement to his fastball. The issue? Command. Phillips has consistently struggled to find the zone, and those struggles will be magnified as he climbs to the pro ball. If he can refine his control and the stuff is there, but if it's a big if, I'm going to give this pick a C+. The ceiling is real, but the risk is just as high. Now we shift gears into what you could consider a set of trades. These next 4 picks are compensation selections for teams who lost qualified free agents. This one goes to the Brewers, who received this pick after losing star shortstop Willie Adames to the San Francisco Giants in the offseason. During his time in Milwaukee, Adames posted a 13.9 wins above replacement, hit .244 with a .323 on-base percentage, and slugged 107 home runs over his 4 seasons. He also earned MVP votes in both 2021 and 2024. Safe to say, he left some big shoes to fill. With this compensation pick, the Brewers selected shortstop Brady Ebel from the high school powerhouse Corona High in California. Ebel grew up around the game. His father is a current third base coach for the World Series winning Los Angeles Dodgers. Playing one of the most toughest regions in California, Ebel proves himself, hitting .341 with a .504 on base, launching 2 home runs in his senior season. At the next level, Ebel could face some growing pains with his bat, but he has his time. At 6'3", there's still some room to grow into his frame and potentially become a power-hitting infielder capable of 20 to 25 home runs this season. With a plus arm and limited range, a move to third feels likely. Will the Brewers get the same level of production they got from Adames? Maybe not. But with his youth and upside, Ebel has a chance to become a quality everyday player down the line. I'm going to give this pick a C-. The next compensation pick goes to the Orioles, who received it after losing longtime slugger Anthony Santander in free agency. During his time in Baltimore, Santander became what many considered irreplaceable. With his switch-hitting power and consistent production, he was one of the top free agents in the market and eventually signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. In Baltimore, Santander posted a 10.9 WAR across his qualified seasons, hitting .247 with a .310 on base, slugging 154 home runs and recording 117 OPS+. For context, OPS Plus is a league-adjusted stat where 100 is average, meaning Santander was about 17% better than the average hitter during his time with the O's. And with the 31st pick, the Orioles made a big move, selecting Golden Spikes Award winner Vahiva Aloy, a shortstop from Arkansas. For this spot in the draft, I absolutely love this value. Aloy hit .350 with a .434 on base, slugging 21 home runs this past season, and launched 14 the year before, leading the Razorbacks in both years. His power stands out, especially for the middle infielder with a solid glove. He He reminds me a bit of Marcus Semien, his bat speed and strength among the best in the class. That said, Eloy's aggressive approach at the plate does lead to a lot of strikeouts. He has the 1-to-2 walk-to-strikeout ratio and often chases breaking pitches, leading to weak contact at sometimes. Defensively, he's got a strong arm but doesn't have elite range, so a move to second or third could be the best in the cards. Still, when you compare this pick to the production of Santander gave the Orioles, I really believe Eloy has the potential to fill those shoes, and maybe even bring more long-term value. I'm going to give this pick an A-. The Orioles had yet another compensation pick, and this one came as a result of losing Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burnes. Now, even though Burnes was technically just a one-year rental, the O's still qualified for a comp pick after signing somewhere else. And in that one season in Baltimore, Burnes delivered. He posted a 3.5 WAR, a sub-3 ERA, struck out 181 batters while just walking 48, and had a whip of 1.096. To put in the advanced stats terms, just like the hitters have OPS+, pitchers have ERA+. It works the same way. 100 is league average, and plus or minus is depending on how good they are. Burnes had 131 ERA+, meaning he was 31% better than the average MLB pitcher during this year with the Orioles. In the offseason, he signed a 6-year, $210 million deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And with the compensation pick, the Orioles selected switch-hitting catcher Caden Bodine out of Coastal Carolina. Bodine became a staple for the Chanticleers lineup from day one. As a freshman, he hit .367, walked more than he struck out across 56 games, and slugged 11 home runs. That year, he earned freshman All-American honors and was named the 2023 Sun Belt Conference Freshman of the Year. While the bat has cooled down slightly over the years, Bodine still developed into one of the top catchers in the country, winning both the Johnny Bench and Buster Posey National Collegiate Catcher of the Year award in 2025. He's not a burner on the base pass, but he brings great value behind the plate and still shows strong offensive upside. So does Bodine replace Corbin Burnes? Not exactly. He probably won't match the Cy Young level impact, but in terms of overall WAR over time, there's a good chance he delivers comparable long-term value. I'm going to give this pick a solid B. A high-floor catcher with leadership, defense, and a switch-hit potential is a great return for a one-year rental ace. Finally, we have the last compensation pick of the round, awarded to the Arizona Diamondbacks for losing Christian Walker to the Houston Astros in free agency. Walker was a cornerstone of the D-backs' recent success. During his time in Arizona, he totaled a 15.5 WAR, hit .253 with a .332 on base, and slugged 141 home runs. His 115 OPS plus means he was about 15% better than the average MLB hitter during his stint in the desert. But his value didn't stop there at the plate. Walker was a defensive monster. He won 3 straight Gold Gloves in his final 3 seasons with Arizona. During that span, he posted 33 defensive runs saved, showcasing his elite first base defense. In 2022, he led the league in total zone fielded runs above average, or RTOT. That stat measures fielding based on plays made, with a league best of 19. With the compensation pick for losing Walker, the Diamondbacks selected 6'3" pitcher Patrick Forbes with the 29th overall pick. Interestingly, Forbes was originally known as one of the top power hitting prospects in 2022 high school class. Primarily a DH and outfielder, he didn't pitch much early on, and when he did, he struggled with command. Then in 2024, everything changed. A pitch hit him in the hand during his lone plate appearance that year, breaking it. And that injury led to a full transition to pitching. After throwing 31.1 innings in his first 2 years at Louisville, Forbes became a full-time pitcher. In 2025, he emerged as one of the most effective arms in Division I baseball. He ranked third in the country with a 14.8 K per 9 and cut down his walks. He brings a high-spin fastball that averages 94 and a sharp low to mid-80s slider and a solid upper 80s cutter, both with a project well into the next level. He also throws a developing changeup in the upper 80s, which could become more of a secondary weapon over time. Forbes has legitimate upside as a starter if everything clicks. Can he replace Christian Walker? Well, maybe not directly. But in the same offseason, the D-backs acquired Josh Naylor, who has been a fantastic replacement at first base in 2025. So in the end, this pick could work out. I'm going to give Forbes a B, a high upside pitcher, and a solid long-term piece for this organization. With the 28th pick in the first round, the Royals received this pick thanks to the Prospect Promotion Incentive, or PPI. This incentive is a part of the MLB's collective bargaining agreement, awards teams for promoting top prospects who go on to achieve major success early in their careers. Here's how it works. If a player is ranked in the top 100 prospects at least 2 of the 3 major outlets, starts the season on the opening day roster, and either wins Rookie of the Year or finishes in the top 3 in MVP or Cy Young voting before hitting arbitration years, then the team is awarded a bonus draft pick. And with that pick, the Royals selected power prep bat Josh Hammond out of Wesleyan Christian Academy. Hammond is an interesting case. He was considered one of the top high school pitchers in the state, but he wanted to be an everyday player. so he hit his way into the first round consideration. As a senior, he led Wesleyan to its second Class 4A state title in 3 years, even homering in the state championship game. He brings a serious strength and plus raw power and the potential to hit 20 plus home runs per season. If he learns to lift the ball more consistently, there's even more in that tank. Defensively, Hammond has a strong arm that profiles well at third base. With continued development, he could become an elite defender, maybe even a future Gold Glover. I'm going to give this pick a B+. Thanks to Bobby Witt Jr., the Royals not only got an extra first rounder, but maybe even a future left side infield duo. Imagine Witt and Hammond manning short and third for years to come. Up next, we have the Cleveland Guardians at the pick 27, who used their pick to select Jace Laviolette. The 6'6" phenom out of Texas A&M, Laviolette was widely viewed as one of the top bats in all of college baseball. In his first 2 seasons as an Aggie, he hit .296 and slugged 50 home runs, solidifying himself as one of the most dangerous power hitters in the country. But with that power came some swing and miss concerns. He struck out 156 times over those 2 seasons. Coming into his final year at College Station, the hype was real around Jace. He was even considered a potential number 1 pick. He had a bit of a down year by his standards, appearing in just 56 games. He hit .258 with a .427 OBP and 18 home runs. Still a strong season, but not quite the same explosive production we've seen before. That said, there's still massive upside in his bat and has a chance to become a staple in the middle of the Guardians lineup alongside former number 1 overall pick Travis Bonzana. If everything clicks, he could be one of the steals in the draft. I'm going to give this pick an A-. With the next pick, the Philadelphia Phillies selected Gage Wood at 26, a high-octane right-hander with one of the best fastballs in this year's draft. Wood's heater is a legit 70-grade pitch, sitting in the mid-90s and touching the upper 90s. It's an electric, plain simple. He began his college career at Arkansas as a Razorbacks closer in 2023. While he had some trouble finding the zone at times, his stuff was raw and still overwhelmed hitters. His return to the same role in 2024, but in 2025, he made the move to the starting rotation. Unfortunately, that transition was cut short when a shoulder impingement shut him down after just 2 starts, sidelining him for nearly 2 months. Once he returned, he picked up right where he left off, if not better. Despite some occasional inconsistencies, Wood posted a sub-1 whip, a staggering 16.5 strikeouts per 9, and under 2 walks per 9. He even tossed a 19 strikeout no-hitter in the College World Series, just 1 batter away from a perfect game. In addition to his elite fastball, Wood mixes an upper 80s slider and a changeup with similar velocities that features a good fade. He has some of the best tools to become the top of the rotation starter, but the question is his health. The shoulder issue traced back to high school, and now that the college concerns too, durability could be one thing standing out between him and stardom. Still, it's a risk the Phillies are clearly willing to take, and one that could pay off big. I'm going to give this pick a solid A. With the 25th pick, the San Diego Padres selected high school phenom lefty Crew Schoolcraft out of Sunset High School in Oregon. Schoolcraft was a 2-time Oregon Gatorade Player of the Year and enters the draft hot off a dominant senior season. On the mound, he went 5-0 with a fastball that touched 97, backed with a powerful slider and a polished changeup, all coming from a towering 6'8" frame that creates a nasty downhill angle. In just 40 innings pitched over 27 games, Schoolcraft averaged 2 strikeouts per inning and posted a ridiculous .7 whip. And that wasn't enough on the mound, he was also mashing with his bat. Schoolcraft hit .521 with 10 homers and 30 RBIs, flat out dominating on both sides of the ball. Most scouts project him to stay on the mound long term, but if that's the case, he's an ace level upside. But if there's any time to use bat, there's legit potential there too. Either way, this kid's electric. The Padres got a monster talent here. I'm going to give this pick a solid A+. But he surged up the boards thanks to his late physical transformation, adding strength and weight that brought more pop to his already smooth swing. That newfound power is what intrigued MLB teams. He also brings plus speed, strong defense instincts, and a high baseball IQ. But the bat is still raw and will need significant development. Will he be a solid contributor one day? Possibly. But this pick is far from the sure thing. It is another gamble by the Tigers front office, clearly betting on upside. What will make this thing is a bit more is who came off the board right after him. Crew Schoolcraft and Gage Wood, 2 high-ceiling arms with much clearer trajectories. Because of that, I'm giving this pick a C-. It might pay off one day, but right now it feels like a reach in the spot where the Tigers had a chance to secure a more immediate value. With the next pick at 23, the Kansas City Royals would select a well-rounded Sean Gamble. The Iowa native and a top 10 player in the class of 2025 is one of the most complete high school prospects in this draft. Gamble brings a smooth, controlled left-handed swing and elite bat-to-ball skills, allowing him to drive the ball to all fields with ease. As he continues to develop, there's no doubt he'll unlock more raw power. Combine that with his plus speed, you're looking at a player that could rack up extra base hits and be a real threat in the base paths. Gamble's profile is impressive across the board, with elite grades in hitting, running, and fielding. He's not much someone to watch. He's someone Kansas City fans can count on to be a key part of their team's future core. And we've seen the Royals succeed with high school bats before. Sean Gamble looks like to be the next one in line and a project well worth the investment. I'm giving this pick a B+. With the 22nd pick, the Atlanta Braves select Tate Southesine, the younger brother of 2024 Cubs draft pick Ty Southesine. A top 20 national player and a USC commit, Tate brings an exciting athleticism and raw tools to the table. He's a plus runner with more power than his older brother, though he doesn't have quite the same level of contact ability just yet. What stands out with Tate is his combination of strength and athleticism. He has the potential to develop into a dynamic shortstop both at the plate and in the field. Right now, he has more of a project. Most of his tools sit at the average to slightly above average range, but with the Braves' strong developmental system, there's real upside here. It's a long-term play, but one that could pay off. I'm going to give this pick a B-. The next pick might be one of the most exciting prospects in this year's draft, and that's Houston Astros selection at 21, Xavier Nayans. Nayans is one of the most intriguing bats in the entire class. His 65 grade power tool from high school immediately grabs attention. What makes him such a compelling talent, where there are some concerns about his contact skills, he's far from an all-or-nothing slugger. There's legitimate offensive potential to unlock. Though he's not a burner on the base path, Nayans is a solid defender that projects to stick at third base. His arm strength is the standout trait. He's been clocked throwing 95 miles per hour on the mound, which gives him plenty of juice across the diamond. If you had to sum up Xavier Nayans in one phrase, it would be boom or bust. The upside is massive. He can improve his approach and adapt to advanced pitching. He could become a real star. But there's also a risk. If the contact isn't persistent, he could struggle to translate to the next level. That said, the Astros have one of the best player development systems in baseball, and they clearly believe they have Nayans reach the ceiling. For someone that draw comparisons between him and a left-handed version of Austin Riley, for that reason, I'm going to give this pick a solid A-. With the 20th pick in the draft, the Brewers selected power-hitting infielder Andrew Fisher out of Tennessee. Now, we might say this was a bit of a reach, but personally, I love it for Milwaukee. When you got a bat like this, it's hard to pass up. He's done nothing but hit over those 3 years in college ball, starting as a freshman at Duke, where he set the school record for freshman home runs with 11. Then he transferred to Ole Miss the next year and took another step forward, belting 20 home runs and hitting .285, and earning second-team All-SEC honors. Then finally came to Tennessee and had his best season yet, where he led the team with 25 bombs and earned first-team All-American honors. Now, defensively, he's not going to bring you much. A move to first base is definitely in play. He's got a solid arm, but his range limits him at third or second. But at 6'1" with a smooth lefty swing, this is a bat that can absolutely become a weapon in Milwaukee's lineup. And if it all clicks, the reach won't matter. This could be a solid long-term piece for the Brewers. I'm going to give this pick a B+. With the 19th pick in the draft, the Orioles made a smart move by picking Ike Irish, a lefty bat that many had thought would come off the board much earlier. Irish put together a dominant career at Auburn, showing off his smooth swing and ability to hit for power and average. While he started as the top catching prospect, and a shoulder injury this spring shifted him to the outfield, where his athleticism and arm should allow him to thrive long-term. He slashed an impressive .364 with a .710 slugging percentage in the SEC play, showing power to all fields and a refined approach at the plate. Some scouts question whether his power will fully translate to pro ball due to his tendency to hit ground balls, but his ceiling as a 20 to 25 home run bat is undeniable. Defensively, he's got the tools to stick it in right field and maximize his offensive upsides, which is exactly what the Orioles need from this pick. I'm going to give this pick an A-. With the 18th pick, the Diamondbacks will go with one of the most polished high school hitters in the class, shortstop Casey Cunningham out of Texas. Now, Cunningham isn't going to wow anyone with his size or power, but what he does at the plate is something special. He has one of the most mature approaches in this class, showing elite barrel control and rarely chasing pitches outside the zone. Hitting .417 for Team USA last summer and winning both the USA Baseball Gatorade Player of the Year and Gatorade Texas Player of the Year, he proved himself against top-tier competition. With his quick lefty swing and smooth bat path, he could end up being a consistent on-base threat with a 15 to 20 homer pop if he continues to develop. Defensively, he has a good actions and a solid arm, but there's some talk of a possible move to second base due to his limited twitch and range. Still, he's a grinder with plus speed, great baseball IQ, and a real top-of-the-order potential. A safe and strong pick for the D-backs here. I'm going to give this pick a B+. The Cubs will take a bit of a gamble here by selecting Wake Forest outfielder Ethan Conrad, a physical 6'3" left-handed bat Conrad transferred up from Maris and immediately made noise with the Demon Deacons before a shoulder injury cut his season short. Before that, he was batting .372 with limited action and slashing .389 with 13 triples the year before and tearing up the Cape Cod League. Conrad is a pure hitter with elite hand-eye coordination, making consistent contact even on pitches outside the zone, and his gap-to-gap approach plays well with his natural strength. There's some concern he doesn't consistently drive the ball in the air to his pull side, but with his size and bat speed, the power could come. Defensively, he's a solid in the outfield with experience all over and enough speed to hold his own. Though he's likely a setter in a corner with his average arm, the track record for production and upside is intriguing, especially for a Cubs team that thrives on developing college bats. I'm going to give this pick a solid B. The Twins made a solid investment grabbing Wake Forest standout shortstop Merrick Houston, one of the best defensive infielders in the entire class. Houston wasn't a big name coming into college, but quickly made his presence known winning the shortstop job as a freshman and helping the Demon Deacons to the College World Series run. What separates Houston from the others is his glove. It's absolutely elite. With smooth actions, great range, and a strong arm, there's little doubt he can stick at short at the next level. But what's made him rise into the first round talk is an improvement at the plate. After a swing overhaul, he started tapping into more power, going from a contact hitter to one that can now slug 12 to 15 homers a season. The bat is still a question here. There's a real possibility he doesn't fully develop, but the defensive floor and versatility make him a safe pick. If the Twins can unlock the rest, they might have found everyday shortstop for their future. I'm going to give this pick a B+. With the 15th pick, the Boston Red Sox would select fireball pitcher Kyson Witherspoon out of Oklahoma, one of the most electric arms in the entire draft. Witherspoon lights up the radar gun, regularly pumping his fastball into the high 90s and pairing it with a devastating mid-80s slider that can touch 91. That two-pitch combo alone made him the most dominant college pitchers in this year's class. He also mixes a consistent top-of-the-line curveball and changeup that still needs polishing, but that foundation is already there. What makes Witherspoon stand out even more is his compact arm action, which allows him to generate elite velocity with minimal effort. That clean delivery has helped him improve both command and control this spring, allowing him to work the zone more effectively and make his off-speed offering even more dangerous. The upside here is undeniable. With his raw stuff, improved command, and physical traits, Witherspoon has the potential to grow into a frontline starter, or even an ace. At the major league level, there's some more development ahead, but he's trending in the right direction, and I could find himself in Fenway sooner rather than later. I'm going to give this pick an A. With the next pick at 14, the Tampa Bay Rays select Daniel Pierce, a 6-foot shortstop out of Georgia, and on the surface, the Rays had the perfect molded fit. With a high IQ, athletic player who brings value in a variety of ways, Pierce is the perfect pick. While Pierce isn't going to wow anyone with his power, he checks almost every other box. He's got advanced bat-to-ball skills plus speed and plays a very clean defensive game. His arm is above average, and his instincts make him a reliable presence in the infield. Offensively, Pierce profiles as a table setter type, someone who can get a real problem on the base pass and consistently get on base. With someone with added strength, he could reach around 15 home runs a year, but his real value will come from putting pressure on defenses and playing smart baseball. This pick isn't flashy, but it feels like a classic Rays move, finding a value in a player who can do a little bit of everything and fits their system well. I'm going to give this pick a B+. Up next at 13 is the San Francisco Giants, who selected Gavin Keelan, a quick left-handed hitter known for some of the best bat-to-ball skills in the 2022 class. Keelan's commitment to Louisville caused him to slide in the draft, but he made big strides in college, boosting his OPS from .659 as a freshman to .952 as a sophomore before transferring to Tennessee. There he moved to second base and established himself as one of the SEC's top hitters. With elite hand-eye coordination and a smooth lefty swing, Keelan excels at being a contact hitter. He tends to chase breaking balls and put weak contact into play when drawing fewer walks. He's shown some power at Tennessee, but questions remain on how to translate with the wood bat. Defensively, Keelan's skills are solid with average speed and arm strength, making him a reliable second baseman. With continued development, he has potential to become a consistent everyday player. I'm going to give this pick a C+. With the next pick, the Texas Rangers selected prep corner infielder Gavin Feen, a move that speaks to the organization's long-term planning. Given how stacked the Rangers are in the middle and young shortstops and second basemen already in place, there's little inconvenience to double down in those positions. Instead, they went the high upside bat in Feen, a 6'3" righty with legitimate power potential and a swing built to drive the ball hard. Over the summer, Feen impressed scouts with consistent hard contact against elite level pitching, slowly climbing up the draft boards. He's already added noticeable strength to his frame, and considering he's just 18, there's a reason to believe more physical development is on the way. Defensively, Feen shows enough athleticism and arm strength to remain at third base. He's a solid runner for his size and moves well laterally, making him a possible long-term option at the hot corner. That said, this pick carries some risk. Fiend's bat isn't fully proven against consistent high-end velocity, and there are several other more polished players still on the board at the time. While the ceiling is high, it's still a bit of a gamble. For that reason, I'm going to give this pick a C. This might be one of the most shocking and thrilling picks of the draft, as the Athletic landed college ace Jamie Arnold at number 11. Arnold was once considered a potential number 1 overall pick after the dominant 2024 campaign where he finished 3rd in all Division I in strikeouts, trailing only Chase Byrne and Hagen Smith. That season, he posted a sub-3 ERA, punched out 159 batters while only walking just 26. He was named a Golden Spike semifinalist and a first-team All-American. He followed it up with another stellar season in 2025, solidifying himself as one of the most polished college arms in the class. The big left-hander throws like a lower, whippy arm slot that creates tough angles for hitters. His fastball sits in the mid-90s, can touch up to the upper 90s, and with his sweeper-like style slider, that may be his best pitch, generating a nasty 41% whiff rate. While he also features a changeup, it's a bit more developmental piece given how dominant his fastball-slider combo already is. Arnold pounds the strike zone with confidence and consistency, something the A's desperately need as they look to rebuild around young talent. With his unique arm slot and dominant stuff, he's even drawn early comparisons to Chris Sale. And if that comp proves accurate, this could go down as one of the franchise-altering steal. Given the value at this spot and the upside Arnold brings, this pick gets a clear A+ from me. With the 10th pick in the draft, the Chicago White Sox select Billy Carlson, the second player from the powerhouse Corona High School to come off the board in the top 10. Carlson is arguably the most advanced defensive shortstop in this class. With a 70-grade glove and exceptional instincts, he makes the difficult plays look routine. His athleticism and plus speed give him range to stick at shortstop long-term, and his footwork and actions are already at a professional level. But Carlson isn't just glove first. He brings a polished offensive profile as well. His swing is clean and compact with impressive bat-to-ball skills and a line drive approach that plays well to gap. While evaluators might be a bit more skeptical on his raw power compared to the other prep shortstops, he's still just 18 and has room to grow physically. With added strength and development, Carlson could elevate his offensive game to match his elite defense. In a class deep with shortstop, this may not be the flashiest pick, but it was a smart one. The White Sox are betting on a high-floor player who has the potential to be their everyday shortstop for the next decade. I'm going to give this pick an A-. With the next pick, the Cincinnati Reds select shortstop Steele Hall. A surprising name in the moment, but one that could prove the classic Reds development win. Hall, who reclassified from the 2026 class, made a major strides this past year. Adding 15 to 20 pounds of muscle, he's taken noticeable steps forward both offensively and defensively. The most eye-catching part of his profile, the speed. With a 70 grade speed on the 80 scale, Hall is one of the fastest players in the entire draft and a serious threat that can swipe 40-plus bags per season. At the plate, he's known for his improved ability to drive the ball into the gaps, with more physical maturity still ahead. There's a chance for 15 to 20 homer power in the future. There are still some red flags naming his aggressive approach and tendencies to chase pitches, but with time and proper coaching, those swing decisions can be cleaned up. If Hall can refine his approach at the plate, he has a chance to become an exciting top-of-the-order threat with game-breaking speed and sneaky pop. For that, I'm giving this pick a B. With the next pick, the Toronto Blue Jays selected Mississippi State commit JoJo Parker, yet another shortstop and was quickly becoming a stacked top 10 for middle infielders. Parker, a 6'2" standout from Purvis, Mississippi, enters the draft as one of the most exciting prep bats in the class. A smooth lefty swing with a plus hit tools, he turned heads all year and capped off his senior campaign by earning Gatorade State Player of the Year honors. Offensively, there's a lot to like. Parker controls the strike zone well and thrives in a gat-to-gat approach, showing the kind of bat speed and mechanics that could project 20 to 25 home run potential with additional strength. His exit velocity is already showing promise, and a bit more physical growth could unlock even more. Defensively, he's a solid arm and good range, but a future might see him shift off shortstop. A move to third base or even second base seems likely depending on how his body develops. But no matter the position, his bat is always going to be his calling card. If the Blue Jays can continue his development and build on the elite offensive foundation, they may have landed one of the best prep players in the class. I'm going to give this pick a B+. Here's yet another shortstop off the board, and this one might be the best college bat in the entire class, Iva Arquette. The towering 6'5" middle infielder transferring from Washington to Oregon State this past year, where he stepped in to replace none other than the former number 1 overall pick Travis Vanzana. After hitting .959 OPS as a sophomore and earning all Pac-12 honors, he made the move down to Corvallis and never looked back. Immediately becoming one of the most consistent bats in the country, Arquette's raw power is what truly stands out. With his size, quick bat speed, and fluid left-handed swing, he projects as a middle-of-the-order threat with 25 to 30 home run upside at the next level. His physicality and offensive polish make him one of the safest power bats in this class. While he's only an average runner, he does bring versatility with past experience at second base. However, his performance in the Cape Cod League helped solidify his standing as a legitimate long-term option at shortstop. All around, he has high upside, high floor pick for a team looking for immediate impact college bat. I'm going to give this pick an A. The next pick would be the first of the two from Corona High School, and it's their star right-handed pitcher, Seth Hernandez. I'm going to be honest. I'm keeping this short because we've seen this exact script before with the Pirates. A tall, imposing, flame-throwing prep arm with a fastball touching the upper 90s, a nasty breaking ball, a sharp slider, and a fade-heavy changeup. Hernandez checks every box as one of the most electric high school pitchers in the class. He's a Vanderbilt commit and sticks with pro ball. There's no denying the ceiling. He has the stuff to become a future ace. There's that much upside. But here's a catch. Do the Pirates really need another potential ace? Maybe not. What they really need are bats, offensive weapons, run producers. Hernandez could turn into a star. But for an organization that builds a surplus of pitching, this pick feels more like a luxury than a necessity. I'm going to give this pick a B. Coming into the draft, I had Liam Doyle pegged as a perfect pick for the Angels at number 2. And turns out he dropped all the way down to number 5 to the St. Louis Cardinals. And I love Doyle. He's my favorite arm in this draft, and for a good reason. He arguably has the best fastball with a 75 grade heater that dominates hitters, but it's not just the fastball. Doyle commands 3 other pitches that round out his arsenal and make him one of the most complete pitchers available. Doyle started his career at Coastal Carolina, where he immediately stepped in as a starter role. After a solid showing there, he transferred straight to Ole Miss and quickly became the guy on the mound. He racked up 13.7 strikeouts per 9, ranking 13th in Division I, and made it clear he belonged on the big stage. Then came the jump to Tennessee, and it was the biggest move yet. Doyle became the 2025 SEC Pitcher of the Year while striking out 15.49 and becoming nearly unhittable. He added almost 8 miles per hour to his fastball after transferring from Ole Miss, going from low 90s to touching upper 90s. Absolutely dominant. His fastball alone produced 105 strikeouts this year, the most in Division I from that pitch. His slider and cutter need some refinement. He can leave in the hittable spots, but when he is on, it's electric. The real concern is arm health. The way he throws and how deep he goes into games raise some red flags long term, but even with that, this pitcher was frontline stuff and the makeup to be a future ace. I'm going to give this pick an A. This is going to be quick, because the Rockies just got lucky. At the pick number 4, they landed the consensus top player in the class, shortstop Ethan Holliday. There's never a scenario where they're going to pass up on him. Not only is he a potential cornerstone player, but he has family ties to the organization. His father, Matt Holliday, was a 3-time All-Star with the Rockies during the 2000s. Ethan is known for being the more physical and having more raw power than his older brother, Jackson. The Oklahoma Gatorade Player of the Year, Ethan boasts a more usable left-handed power in the entire draft, with some of the best overall tools across the board: arm, field hit, and elite pop. He's on the fast track to the majors, and with his bat playing anywhere, it's only going to look even better at Coors. He's going to benefit from the elevation, but this isn't just a Coors bat. He's a legit star in the making. A+. Done. Knowing how the Mariners run their minor league system, this pick makes perfect sense. Cade Anderson at LSU might be the best fits in the entire first round, and Seattle wasted no time grabbing him. Anderson isn't going to blow you away with velocity, though his fastball does sit in the mid to upper 90s and earn solid marks. But what makes him so special is his ability to pitch around. He works around these hitters, mixing speeds and controlling the game with his 3 solid offerings. His primary breaking pitch has evolved from a classic curveball to a sharper mid-80s slider that tunnels well off his fastball. Add in a changeup that becomes a legit weapon, and you've got the pitcher who can command 3 pitches and dominate any lineup. He was a machine this past season, leading LSU to the national championship and winning Most Outstanding Player at the College World Series. Across 2 starts, he allowed just 1 run over 17 innings, including a 1-0 shutout in the finals. He led Division I in strikeouts over 119 innings with 180 strikeouts, and finished 3rd with 12 wins. The first-team All-American, National Pitcher of the Year, and first-team All-SEC. Just elite. This guy's going to be the Mariners system soon. And how well they develop arms, don't be surprised if he turns the Seattle's rotation into the best in baseball. An A rating, no doubt. With the second pick, the Angels selected Tyler Brumner, a right-handed pitcher out of UC Santa Barbara. This was terrible. That's all I have to really say. There are better arms, there are better bats, there are better everything. This pick came out of nowhere. It's hard to justify what kind of speaks any value or upside. I don't want to talk about it any more than that. F. With the final pick we are covering and the first overall selection in the 2025 MLB Draft, the Nationals made the shocking move of the night, selecting Oklahoma Prep shortstop Eli Lilletz. Now we're expecting a shortstop. We were expecting someone from Oklahoma. We're even expecting someone whose dad played in the major leagues. But we weren't expecting Eli Lilletz. That said, Lilletz has grown up in a baseball family. He has all the tools. He's got advanced hit tool, power that could develop over time, plus speed and solid defensive instincts. On paper, he checks nearly every box you'd want in a number one pick. But here's the issue. The Nationals have been taking big swings on raw prep bats before, and they all have whiffed. One example of that immediately comes to mind is Elijah Green. He was supposed to be a franchise-changing power bat, and now he's buried in the minors because he can't make contact. So yes, Lilletz is young, switch-hitting shortstop with a sky-high ceiling. And yes, maybe he'll develop into a star, but this is a very risky pick. The track record of success with players like this in Washington is shaky at best. For that reason, I'm giving this pick a B-. Thank you all so much for watching. This took a ton of time and effort to put together, so if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It would mean the world. This is Benchwarmer Files. I'll see you next time.